Right, at 6:29, we'll give everyone just another minute to get in here. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, there she goes at 6:30. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order for the Planning and Zoning Commission on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. May I get a roll call, please?
Chair Williams,
Here.
Vice Chair Berteau,
Present.
Commissioner Aragon,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson, Commissioner Gidgerelli, Commissioner Ayers,
Here.
Commissioner Tibbetts.
Here.
All right, if you all join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, are there any public comments for items not on the agenda tonight?
There's nobody signed in.
All right, thanks, Director Centeno.
No hands raised.
Great. Move on to the consent agenda, the minutes of the November 4th, 2025 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Did anyone have any questions or edits that they'd like to discuss? If not, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Approve the agenda.
I'll go ahead and second the.
The minutes.
That's.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Ayers, a second from Commissioner Aragon. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, do we have any conflicts of interest or agenda changes tonight?
We do not.
All right, before we jump into the Colorado River Fire and Rescue Site Plan Review / lot line discussion, just wanted to welcome Todd Tibbetts to the board, our newest, freshest blood here on P and Z. Thanks for volunteering your time, Todd. Appreciate it. All right, so this is a public notice action item, and I'll turn it over to Director Centeno.
Alrighty. Colorado River Fire Rescue currently resides at 611 Main Street. And they are gonna remain at this location. I'm gonna highlight a couple of the changes. There, at some point, they had a site plan review. We do not have record of it, so I don't have anything to compare it to outside of what's currently existing on the site. So it is a site plan amendment. However, we're gonna go based off of what's currently existing, not what was previously submitted as a site plan.
Okay.
It is in the B1 zone district. There was a 15-day public notice that was satisfied. As I was going through the public notice this project, it was discovered that there are actually 4 parcels, which is why there's so many legal descriptions within the staff report. There are 2 designated common addresses and then 2 parcel numbers because there's no address on those parcels because they're vacant. With that being said, we are cleaning up that mess. CRFR was very quick to respond with a lot line dissolution addition to their site plan amendment and plat, and lot line of dissolution plat accordingly. So it's all gonna be one parcel. We're gonna clean up, to make sure that they can cross lot lines legally. Right now, the building is crossing a lot line, so it has 2 legal addresses, the whole building. It's kind of a hot mess, but we are cleaning it up and CRFR was, like I said, quick to give us that plat. We're working through that and we will get that recorded as quickly as possible. That is an administrative approval. However, I apologize. Give me 1 second. Michael Churchill, we were having some technical difficulties. And it looks like he's jumping on. I just want to make sure he knows that he called myself into it. I want to make sure that he understands that we were able to get it all working.
Yeah, no problem.
So I let him in, he'll jump on to see that everything's working. We should be good. So we'll get that recorded. It is administrative, but we wanted to also bring it to the planning commission just so that you all were aware of it, and we did add it within the final approval in case anybody wanted to weigh in on it. In the staff report, there is a location. I also put where you can physically see the 4 different lot lines. There is a description that highlights some of the bigger changes that are taking place. The square footage would go from approximately 8,798 square feet to about 14,126 square feet. The fire department is in the same boat that we are all in, of not having enough space and trying to figure out how to reconfigure their existing space. Because ultimately it's cheaper to reconfigure your current space and try to utilize what's existing and add on to it. With a commercial zone district, lot lines, the setbacks are determined from the lot line based off of site plan. I don't know what was previously approved, but what they are currently proposing is well within the realm of what staff finds acceptable. So on the front side, it would be 19.76 feet. From the west side, it would be 61.66 feet. From the east side, it would be 21.09 feet, and then from the rear, it'd be 17.24 feet. And I don't see any issues with that one. The building height maximum that's allowed in that area is 45 feet. Their proposed height is 39.2, so they're within the realm of the building height allowance as well. The maximum lot coverage allowed at that site is 80%. This proposal is 54%, which is also compliant within our code. I wanted to highlight the parking. They had proposed for the parking on the west side of the building. It encroached in the right of way 5 feet. We had good conversation about making sure that they encompass all of their parking within their property boundary lines. As the town eventually is gonna get, we've done 7th Street, we've done 8th Street. 6th Street is inevitably gonna be one of the next crossroads that we do, that we just want to right away back and create additional street parking. The CRFR, and I say CRFR, their representatives are Oz Architectural, and they're taking the front of the design of everything, and they've been great to work with, and so they were super responsive with the feedback that we've given them so far. We've had a good working relationship. They're figuring out, based off of our corrections, what needs to change, and they're coming up with really creative ways to do so. So I'm not concerned that we're not gonna meet the realm of everything that is needed in engineering. But they already started to revamp. We just had that conversation last week, and they've already started to work on revamping the parking and doing diagonal parking within their parking space rather than straight in parking. And that is gonna help scoot some of that over, because the existing building that they're keeping, it can't be moved. So even though they could scooch the whole project over, they can't, because it's an existing building. So we want to work with them and make sure that we're able to provide them as many adequate parking spaces as possible within their property. And part of that is going to be another administrative, and I did put this code in there, but it's an administrative decision to allow them to have a deviation from the required parking spaces. And so they, by code, with the square footage, would need 35 spaces. They're looking to accommodate 13 to 14 spaces, but wherever that ends up being, I did get a letter from Chief Sackett today saying that here's how many people they have on shift. Here's the parking spaces that they're actually gonna need, because this is private parking. So this, being in a commercial zone district, is a little different than like a retail store. They're not open to the general public. Their parking is gonna be exclusive to their employees and that shift change, there's a little bit of overflow, but we're also gonna have street parking. So we're gonna go on ahead and administratively approve for them to have a deviation from the required parking spaces, because it fits within the realm, and they were able to justify the fact that they don't need that many parking spaces. So I'm not concerned about that, but they are working on reconfiguring that to make sure that they get the most that they can while meeting the town requirements of being within their own property bounds. There is municipal code sections that are within the staff report. Overall, staff finds that the CRFR site plan amendment is acceptable with the conditions listed in the planning recommendations. The design team worked to follow up with the town on architectural designs. Staff believes that the proposal will fit well within the Main Street corridor. When you're taking an existing building and trying to transform it into something, use what's existing, transform it into something new, make everything fit together and look cohesive. Like I said, I'm super impressed with this design team's ability to do so. And I think it's gonna be a great addition for CRFR and for the town as a whole. The planning recommendation, number one, is that all representations made in the application in writing, verbally spoken at the meeting are gonna be as considered part of the application and binding. Number two, that the applicant provides any requested documents, pay any remaining fees prior to the issue of building permit. Number three is that the approval is not for construction and that there's gonna be a building permit required for construction. Number four, that all town building, engineering, and fire requirements be satisfied during the permitting process prior to the issue of building permit. And then number five is the landscaping plan be consistent with the Main Street improvements, which the design team has already been working on. And then number six, that all improvements be encompassed within the property lines and not extended to the town's right of way, which again, they've already been working on. Number seven, that the lot lines be dissolved and a new plat recorded with a single address is already in the works. And then number eight, that the applicant submit a reduction of off-street parking request in writing, which they did do. So a lot of these conditions of approval that I put on there last week have already been completed or in the process of being completed. There is a recommended motion and this is the first meeting that you guys have probably seen redacted information. And I'll just say it on public record. We've been struggling with people receiving falsified invoices. And so the fraudulent invoices, we did have one person pay $5,000 to a fraudulent invoice. So we're making sure, and it's coming off of our land use applications. So we're making sure that that the land use applications have the redacted information because it's coming via email or phone call. They're asking for a wire transfer. So we've contacted all of the land use applicants and let them know the town, and I let you guys, I let your crew know too. The town will never ask for a wire transfer and we snail mail invoices. So and people are like actually using my signature block on emails, like it's getting a little hairy, so I'm redacting information that would be points of contact, not that they can't get it other ways, we're just not gonna make it easily accessible. So that's why in the application, there's redacted information. So the application is in the staff report. They also put their land use impact statement in the staff report. They don't see any negative impacts and staff doesn't either. And then I did add, since they did provide it so quickly, it hasn't been reviewed, but I did add it just for the planning commission to look at that. They already submitted the plat dissolution or the lot line dissolution plat. So that's in the packet. And the renderings are all in the packet. If you have any questions, let me know, but the site plan is also in the packet where it's showing, we don't have some of the updated parking reconfigurations or like the Main Street improvement reconfigurations. They just got that information of corrections from us. So they need time to be able to complete those, which is why it's a condition of approval. So outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And we do have Orin Moon with CRFR and
DJ Wells with Wimber.
correct. And we also have their design team online. William is with Oz Architect.
Yeah.
And so any of us are happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I welcome the applicants to add any information that I could have forgotten.
Great, thanks, Director Centeno. Does anyone have any questions for Nicole before we turn it over to our applicants for any additional info?
Yeah, a couple of questions. Biggest thing is that with this retrofit and everything like that, Warren, are you gonna keep it up and operational as you go?
Yes,
The fire
that's one of the reasons that we're doing what we're doing is because we have no place else to put our crews during construction. So we are gonna maintain the housing area that we have now. And then work the bays kind of in between and then build the new building on the other side. So once the new building is built and completed, then all we have to do is move the crews from the west side to the east side, and then we'll demolish the east building and that will turn into the parking lot. So, but our big goal is we have no place else to put them, nor do we want to put them in trailers in the middle of winter, you know, things like that. There's been some pretty elaborate systems made up for fire stations being built during the winter, and we just soon stick with what we've got. So that's the big goal. That's been one of the reasons of going the way we're going, because when we were looking for property, the whole goal was to build a new station and then just move everybody all at once. Well, property was unobtainable, basically, for us. Because of the state guidelines, what we can purchase. So unfortunately, we're stuck with this, so we've got to make it work. Anything else to add?
Nope, that was perfect.
I guess my only question is, parking is, if you approve shortages, it's cumulative. If you do a couple different places where they don't quite have their needs, then it becomes a bigger problem. So I just was curious, there's no intention of expanding the crew or any increase in manpower?
So we're building the station, not saying that this is what we're gonna have in it right now, but we're building the station with 7 beds.
Okay,
So
Okay.
we will have 7 people max in
Okay.
there. But we're still only running 4 to 5 people out of that station right now.
okay,
So we had to set our goals so we could build this station of where we thought we would be, and that's where we thought we'd be.
okay, sounds good.
And that's where the parking comes in, the 13, 14 spaces, because if you do expand to 7 man on one crew and another crew come and they're swapping. it should be
Yeah.
14.
So you could have 14 bunks, 7 awake, 7 sleep.
When we're fully staffed.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Great, well, we'll officially turn it over to our applicant now. Hi, gentlemen. Any other additional comments besides what Director Centeno had put in her staff report?
I think the big thing is, CRFR was basically dealt the hand that we have a building that is, the bays are in really good shape. We had thoughts earlier about making, the offices in the bays and building new bays. But once we started looking at what we had and what everything was as far as the floors are in the bays are in great shape, they're not cracked. And we figured if we start going there and trying to build offices and everything in there, we're gonna make it worse than what it is. So that's when we decided to go the route we did as far as building the new housing building and the offices on the east side and leave the bays. So there's going to be some changes in the bays, but for the most part, they're gonna stay the same. We're just gonna give them a facelift basically and change things out. I think the big thing is we were, and the architects, and Will, you can chime in on this too, but the big things is when you're taking an old building and you're trying to build something new, they don't always jive together, the old and the new. And so the big emphasis is trying to make this look like it's all a brand new building. And I think they've done a wonderful job of that. Because that was one of my big concerns when we started this project is we got an old station or an old building with bays there and then a new building sitting next to it and they don't look like they belong to each other. But we made that look that way. So for the town of Silt, And what we've done, you know, try to match the downtown area. That's, this is what we've come up with, architects come up with. And, I think they've done a very, very great job on this, and I hope you guys really like what you're seeing.
Great, thank you for the overview. Do we have anyone online that would like to add any comments? Before we go ahead and open it up to the, it's a public hearing, correct? Director Centeno, yeah, so we'll open it up for public hearing after this.
Oh, I think Orin did a great job. Thanks, Orin.
Great. Any other questions before I open up the public hearing? All right, it's now 6:50. Do we have anyone in the room or online that would like to make a comment regarding this agenda item? Hearing none, I'll go ahead and close the public comment at 6:51. And do any of my fellow commissioners have any additional questions? Would like to discuss?
I don't think I have any questions.
parts of this?
I think you guys are in the spot you're in. I personally wish you weren't. I wish you had the ability to do more. That's outside your control. That seems to me like you're making something great out of a less than terrific situation. So I wish personally I could do more for you, but that's all I can do is approve today. So that's what I'll give you.
Well, and one of the problems is this station was built as a volunteer station. And we've had to stage people and have people living there for 48 hours at a time. And so it has not been ideal, and this has been our goal, is to get this station up to make these living quarters, you know, decent for our people so they can be happy to be here, and, you know, and of course, the happier they are, the better they do and everything like that, just like anybody else. But we're real happy that we're gonna be able to do something with this station.
I like you all being on Main Street. It's fun when we do the community events that the
Yeah.
firehouse is like right there for everybody to see, and all the trucks and stuff are right out there.
Yeah, we enjoy having everything out there too.
All right, would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the amendment to the Colorado River Fire and Rescue Site Plan located at 611 Main Street as presented in the staff report and spoken during the meeting with the recommended conditions of approval in the staff report. Any modifications or additional conditions by the planning commission should be added to this motion.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Anderson,
I'll second it.
a second from Commissioner Tibbetts. All those in favor? Aye. All right, gentlemen, good luck. Yeah, thanks so much for
Thank
coming
you.
before us
Thank you for
tonight.
having
Yeah,
us.
excited for your plans. Thanks.
Excited to see the big movement.
Yeah, I know, it's gonna be big. All right, have a good night. The next item on our agenda is also a public notice action item, Maverick Site Plan Amendment. Give Director Centeno just a second to pull everything up and then we'll get started on that one.
Alrighty. Maverick has been in front of the commission a couple times for signs. This one's a little different. So they had a site plan that was approved in 2004, which hasn't altered or changed in any way. So what they are proposing, get down here, is a screened fencing area. So it is technically a change to their previous approval of a site plan, which is why it's coming back in front of the planning commission. What they are proposing to do is right here in this section, this dotted line, and we're missing some dimensions on here. There are some conditions of approval that as long as they meet, what, Orin had previously said, Fire Marshal Orin, Moon had indicated that they need the space for emergency turnaround, like if their apparatus was to get in there. So that is a condition of approval. So this is not quite 100% to scale like it will be by the time of the building permit approval. But the fence would come out, here's the door in the rear, the fence would come out, go down towards the end, but it would block off this existing sidewalk. The fence material would look similar to this. This is what they've done in other locations. And so it would just be additional storage for them. There is no, after talking to our engineer and the fire department, there's no concerns of fire exit or means of drainage or ingress or egress. So overall, staff finds that the proposal to install the fence in the rear is acceptable with the conditions listed in the planning report. Which are, number one, that all representations of the application of the applicant, application materials, anything spoken during the meeting is to be binding as part of the approval. Number two, that the applicant will provide any additional requested documents and pay any remaining fees. Number three, that this is not for construction, they still have to pull a building permit. Number four, that all building, engineering, and fire requirements be satisfied during the permit review process. Number five is that the fence design be adjusted to maintain a 22-foot width of driving area in the rear without compromising the rear parking. And like I said, that is to enable an apparatus to get through there if needed. And then number six, that the fence not exceed the 6-foot height restriction as per the Silt Municipal Code. And then number seven is what our engineer had actually asked us to add in, just as a reminder that this isn't gonna alter the drainage, but there is still a drainage issue that needs to be brought up and maintained, and that is the annual snout hood clean out that collects the storm drain. So we put that in there as a reminder and condition that that gets cleaned annually. There is a recommended motion, and I am happy to answer any questions that you might have. And the applicant, Becca, is online for this application. She's the representative for Maverick. So,
Great, thanks,
Yes.
Director Centeno. Does anyone have any questions for Nicole before we turn it over to our applicant?
I do not.
I don't have any.
Great, hi Becca,
Hey Nicole, how's it going?
it's going well. This is Lindsay,
Oh.
the Chair of Planning and Zoning.
Oh
Becca,
my,
what's your last name? I can't see it on the screen.
my bad. It's Becca Reese. I apologize. I should have made sure that was updated before I got
Oh,
on here.
you're all right. I'll call you Miss Reese then from here on out. Do you have any additional information that you'd like to add to what Director Centeno has already articulated?
Director Centeno, honestly, she did such a phenomenal job. I really don't. She really just nailed it.
All right, great. Does anyone have any questions for Miss Reese before we open it up to our public hearing? All right, it's 6:58. Open up the public hearing. Do we have any public comments either in the room or online?
we do not have either.
I'm not hearing any. I'll go ahead and close the public comment at 6:59. Anyone has any additional comments or questions that they'd like to ask or make? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the amendment of the site plan review for Maverick located at 915 Main Street as presented in the staff report and spoken during the meeting with the staff recommended conditions in the staff report.
We have a motion from Commissioner Ayers,
I'll go ahead and second the motion.
a second from Commissioner Aragon. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Ms. Reese.
Thank you all for your time. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful night.
Thanks.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with all your storage needs.
Thank you.
So the theme of the night, nobody has enough space.
Right? I know. Trend going on. All right, the next item on our agenda is a public notice action item continuation. This is for the Jalisco Food Truck / Monroy, site plan and special use amendment. go ahead and turn it over to Director Centeno whenever she's ready.
Thank you. Alrighty, the Jalisco food truck on South Seventh Street. Previously purchased the adjacent lot and they dissolved that lot line, so is where that house, that older house is. Now that the lot line is dissolved, they're able to meet their conditions of approval for their special use and connect onto the water and sewer. But also as part of what they're wanting to do, they want to use the house for seating. Until they have a grand plan of building behind the existing house, removing the existing house once that's complete. And so they have a lot of plans, but we're taking it one step at a time. The lot line dissolution is completed, recorded, it's one lot. They're connecting to water and sewer. In order for them to be able to utilize the seating area and expand into the whole lot that they now own, it's gonna require a site plan amendment and a special use permit amendment. So they had previously had an engineer look at what they need to do to the existing house building in order to utilize it for seating. They ended up contracting a different engineer that was gonna better be able to help them accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. That meeting just took place on December 2nd, and they were not able to get plans put together that quickly to end up on the planning commission meeting. So in order to give them a little bit of time to make that happen, especially with the holiday season and people not working full hours, instead of putting them on the January P and Z meeting, I'm gonna ask for you to move them to the February 3rd and continue that public hearing till February 3rd. And then they'll come back in front of you for a site plan amendment and a special use amendment.
Great, thanks for that. Do I need to open it up for public comment for the continuation or?
No,
you
you
looking
should
for a
just be able to
motion?
continue
Okay,
it, yeah.
sounds good. Does anyone have any questions or would anyone be wanting to make a recommendation for a continuation?
Well, I would vote to approve the continuation of Jalisco Food Truck Site Plan Review and Special Use Amendment from December 9th, 25 to the February 3rd, 26 agenda.
Thanks. We have a motion from Commissioner Tibbetts,
I'll second it.
a second from Commissioner Anderson. All those in favor? Aye. Great. We'll see them back with us on February 3rd.
Perfect. All right.
Alrighty, chugging line right along.
I didn't want to jump in front of you and start talking. I'll let you go to the next agenda item.
I think the next agenda item is just the planner's report,
It
right?
is. I didn't want to skip in line in front of you. So I did add my staff report to the packet. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I did want to highlight at the end, I did put the 26 not minutes. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. The
Meeting
26
agendas or
meetings.
Yeah, dates.
And I did put on the original agenda for this meeting that the next meeting was gonna be January 6th because it's the first Tuesday following the first Monday of every month. However, that is the week of New Year's. The packet would have to go out on New Year's Day. There's a lot of moving parts, and so we decided that it would be better to just go on ahead and move that initial P and Z meeting to the second Tuesday, and that might just be something we just continually do, is that the blur of the end of December to beginning of January, I think can be really, really rough on everybody. So it won't be the 6th, it will be the 13th.
Okay.
So other than that, everything else, the only 2 meetings this is the first year that we're transitioning with the new code that was written for P and Z. This is the first year that it's not gonna be the first Tuesday of every month, it's the first Tuesday following the first Monday. So that only affected 2 months, it was September and December. That the first Tuesday of the month actually fell on the first day of the month. And so it'll actually be the next meeting. Okay, so a little deviation there. It affected 2 months and then by choice 1 month for January. So.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why can't you do the same thing for November? I don't think we should meet on November 3rd. Being election day. Why can't you move that to the 10th?
If that's the consensus of the commission, we can definitely look at moving that to the 10th.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. I know Commissioner Berto always appreciates that election week. I think you've brought that up before, Michael, so I am in support of moving that to the 10th if that's appropriate. Seems appropriate.
Yeah,
for everyone.
seems like it makes sense to me.
Nicole, if that's okay with staff.
Yes,
Be in support
ma'am.
of that.
Do the meetings start at 6:30?
The meetings do always start at 6:30 for P and Z. And we will have, since you were asking and it's good to clarify, we'll have one monthly meeting for P and Z. There might potentially be a second if we get inundated like we had in the past of applications all coming in at once. But then there's also gonna be four quarterly, it'll be 4 meetings throughout the year that we do joint meetings with the planning commission and the board of trustees. And then the commission is, anybody on the commission is always welcome to come to any of the work sessions that the board has as well. So there'll be different meetings throughout that are scattered and not necessarily pre-planned on this calendar.
If we're out of town, is it possible then to attend via Zoom?
You can, yeah. Yeah, we, after discussion, amongst the commission, the board, and then staff, we prefer you to use that as like the last option. And then we would prefer for you to be in person, but, like this is the first time that Vice Chair Berto has ever had to Zoom in. And we absolutely support him Zooming in because he doesn't do it all the time. He is in the room most of the time.
As an example, February 3rd, I've got a business trip, but I am available to
Absolutely.
attend by Zoom.
Yes, yeah, if you would like to attend by Zoom, that would be great. Yeah, and if for any reason you can't attend, just let us know, and if you email me, I'll make sure we still have a quorum, so,
Sure.
yeah. But yeah, we appreciate you being willing to jump on, even though you're elsewhere, so we don't turn that down.
Yeah, thanks for providing these dates, Nicole. I know, we don't have any like really hard and fast rules about how many meetings like you're allowed to miss, but generally if it's more than a couple, kind of talk about your.
Yeah.
Public execution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and willingness and, during COVID, we all had went online and
Yeah.
have had a few commissioners in the past who exclusively attended online and really just found that in person is,
It matters.
yeah, absolutely. But certainly willing to accommodate, Zoom when it's necessary.
Yes, so, yeah. Outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions and I don't have anything else.
All right, great. Does anyone have any questions for Nicole's planners report? And in addition to that, does anyone have any kind of round robin commissioner comments that they'd like to make?
I have a question. I didn't hear back per se, and I assume the last conversation we had, the code committee did not meet today, correct?
They did not meet today.
Okay, are we rescheduling that or?
We will meet before the January meeting.
Okay, we're just gonna take a month off.
Everybody's trying to finagle that use it or lose at times, so yes, it was gonna be
that's-
hard to pull that together for tonight.
Understand.
Yes,
Is the Vail board still looking for applicants? Did that,
that's a good question. I can ask Sheila and get back in touch with you.
I don't know that I need another hat, I just wanna know if I'm
If they,
in with the community and people are willing.
yeah,
I could pass it along.
It seems like they're always looking for folks every so often.
yeah. I will double check on that and get back to you.
Commissioner Aragon, anything from you?
I got nothing. Just happy as can be.
Commissioner Anderson?
Same as Eddie,
Great.
happy as a clam,
New Commissioner Tibbetts, any
No,
thoughts, or would you like to maybe spend just a minute introducing yourself?
well, Todd Tibbetts lived in Silt for about 30 years. was on TMZ back in, the late nineties, early 2000s, town board for about 8 years. I'm semi-retired, so I had additional time, so there's an opening and thought I'd throw my 2 cents worth in.
Great.
Appreciate it.
We're glad you're here. Nicole, I had a question in terms of the meetings for 2026. Have any of the Board of Trustees joint meetings been scheduled yet?
They have not.
Okay,
I did send an email, I circulated an email today asking if we know when the first quarter one is gonna be,
Okay.
and we're gonna figure that out and let you guys know sooner rather
Okay.
than later.
that one always seems to sneak up on me for some reason.
It sneaks up on me too,
Yeah.
yes.
I also wasn't able to attend the Thanksgiving tree lighting ceremony. How did that all go?
It went really well.
Good.
Yeah, we had more of an attendance than what we thought we were gonna have, so
Cool.
we had a little bit of a scramble of running out of s'more stuff and having to frantically run to. Luckily, we have $2 stores because each one had something that we needed,
Two people
so.
running the opposite
Yeah,
ways.
so we were running opposite directions and it went well. We had our first cheermeister, which was really great. And that was won by she was under 2, I think she was like 18 months. And she came all decked out, and so she won the cheermeister, so the Grinch handed off his cheermeister sash, and so that was super cute. It was well attended. We had the mayor and the mayor pro tem come and do the countdown. There was a slight delay on the fireworks. One went off and then all of a sudden it was like, what's going on? But he figured it out really quickly. There was something, one board wasn't communicating with another board because everything is electronic now.
Yeah.
So it's not like you actually take the lighter and light something. It is all done digital. So room for error, but that's the first time we've ever had a delay. And it remedied itself pretty quickly and everybody was excited. So yeah.
Good. Glad to
Yes,
hear
thank
it.
you for everybody that came out.
Yeah.
It was good time. Yeah.
It's nice to be able to enjoy the fireworks from your home, sitting on the deck.
Do you have a good view?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I heard a couple people say like, I have the best view. I just sit on my deck. I have my cocktail and I'm a happy camper and you can see everything from my deck.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
yeah.
Well, luckily my dog can't talk because she didn't like him as much as I did.
Yeah, I had a dog that was the same way growing up. We would have to actually like on the day before, like leading up to 4th of July, give her like sedatives. She was not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a balance for sure.
Good.
Yes.
Any other events before the end of the year?
No, that is
Good,
it.
good.
That
I'm glad for
wraps
you
up
all.
our year. Yes, and then I'm working on the event calendar for 26. We are, save the date. We are going to have a 4th of July event on the 4th of July. So it'll be a one-time celebration since the 250th anniversary of the US. So.
Nice, and it's on a Saturday this year.
It's on a
Next year.
Saturday. Yeah, stay tuned. We are gonna put together a subcommittee. I've been frantically trying to pull pieces together and pre-reserve some elements that I know for sure we want to be part of the celebration, and then we'll probably ask a commissioner or 2 to be on the subcommittee, and then we'll have a couple board members on the subcommittee and a couple members of the public. So we're definitely, it's gonna be a big event. There will be a lot of involvement. We'll make sure that we give it the attention that's needed with a committee. I know there's so many committees, but this will be a large event, so.
Great, well, thanks for the
Yeah.
heads up about that.
Yes.
Hopefully the weather will provide the opportunity for some fireworks on the 4th of July.
I have talked to Fire Marshal Warren Moon about that. We're gonna, we've already tentatively pre-ordered and have it set up with a company, just trying to figure out I'm working on the contract still on what that looks like. If we can't do it, can we use those fireworks for the tree lighting? Like, what does that look like? We don't wanna lose the ability to use them, and if we're purchasing them, then when can we use them if we can't? So
Gotcha.
we'll figure it out, but think snow and rain over the next several months, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, But outside of that, yeah, we're excited for this year's upcoming events.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. Yeah, thanks for the heads
Yeah.
up.
And we are gonna do the farm to table dinner. I did meet with High Water Farm today. And we have a tentative date of September 11th for the farm to table dinner, so
Okay,
that'll be a good one too.
like a community dinner, like a,
Yeah, we'll do it over at the River Preserve and it'll be ticketed, so it'll be like a partial fundraiser for the High Water Farm and for the Silver River Preserve.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so a couple new elements this year
Yeah,
on
makes sense.
the
Okay.
event schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Alrighty, any other questions or comments? If not, who wants to do it?
Move we adjourn.
All those in favor? Was that Vice Chair Berto and then?
Yes, we'll
And
do
then,
Commissioner Tibbetts, Vice Chair Berto seconded.
okay,
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good to hear you, Michael. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, good night.
Thanks, everyone. Mike, did you